I would definitely recommend an open bar. It's just a nice effect to your wedding. Sometimes guests don't bring money, maybe just for tips, but not for actually purchasing drinks. 99% of the weddings have an open bar with it. If you are not having a bar, then just don't have one at all. Don't even offer a cash bar. Either go one way or the other and eliminate the cash bar totally.
If you're going to do a beer and wine bar, then do a beer and wine bar. If your guests don't see the hard liquor, they won't ask for it. If you're going to do an open bar, have it be an open bar that you're paying for the wedding. Your guests don't want to have to pay for their own drinks. If you can't afford to do an open bar, there are other options, like doing a beer and wine bar, or if you're doing a day wedding, maybe doing a brunch bar that has mimosas and Bloody Marys. You don't have to do the traditional, but whatever you do decide to do, commit to it.
If you do not have the budget for it, I totally recommend not having a bar at all. Just don't even offer it and let it be. If you are considering a bar, but not a full open bar, you would then consider maybe a beer and wine bar, which would help you save money, and maybe have a signature cocktail of your choice, which would be nice.
For an evening wedding, traditionally your cocktail hour is huge. You know, you want to do a couple of stations, you want to have a good amount of past hors d'oeuvres, and keep the drinks going.
Evening cocktail hour really depends on what your main meal is going to be. So usually with a buffet, you go with a lighter cocktail hour because the majority of the foods for your actual reception is so much. It's hearty, it's carving stations, pasta stations, entrees, you know, maybe a fun sushi bar. So you go a little lighter on a cocktail hour. When you have a seated meal where you have different courses, you might consider bumping up your cocktail hour. With more food stations, as when they come up, it'll just be a plated, seated dinner.
If it's a daytime wedding, you can get away with doing a lighter fare because people aren't as hungry as they are in the evening time. So maybe you want to just do a nice Taste of Tuscany station that has some cured meats and fresh vegetables, and then doing a couple of past hors d'oeuvres. And then you can also have more fun with the bar. You don't have to do a complete open bar. Maybe you want to do that brunch bar, you want to do that beer and wine.
Earlier cocktail hours, I don't really recommend past hors d'oeuvres. You know, maybe you go with a brunch menu where you have some light appetizers, a fruit and cheese display. On a brunch wedding, you know, an omelet station is nice, but you don't really need that pasta and carving stations. They're too hearty for an afternoon event. Music playing for the cocktail hour. First off, when guests are all in cocktail hour and they're eating and they're mingling and they're drinking, you probably don't even hear it, although it is a nice accent to your event. You can have a live musician playing an acoustic guitar, you can have a saxophone player, or you can have a DJ where he's just piping in music through the space through a speaker system. Again, it's something where you're not really dancing, but yet it's a nice touch to background.
Check with your venue about whether or not they have piped in music for their cocktail hour. If they do not, you want to use whoever you're using for your reception or for your ceremony music for your cocktail hour music.
Must-have food items to me nowadays are more fun foods. I love untraditional weddings. I love that a bride and groom will represent through food themselves, whether it be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, whether it be a mac and cheese and a bacon bowl. So it's what they like, that they need to show their guests that this is my wedding, it's my day, and this is what I'm going to serve. But I think keeping it fun, food trucks have become huge at events now, whether it be ending an event with a waffle truck or a popcorn truck or burritos upon leaving. The best thing to have is junk food after drinking all night. But it should represent the bride and the groom, absolutely 100%. Doesn't have to keep with that whole tradition, give it a little twist.
In terms of the decor for your cocktail hour, I always suggest keep it simple. Your big bang should go right into your ballroom or right into your event space. That's where your money should go for your decor. For cocktail hour, keep it simple with candles, maybe a small floating flower. You don't have to have a seat for every guest. If you keep it more cocktail style seating, have a couple of high tables, a couple of low tables, but not a chair for every person, your guests will then be forced to mingle and talk to each other.